Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 165 of the Meet the Farmers podcast with me, Ben Eagle. Today, we're heading to mid Wales to meet fourth generation sheep, beef, and egg farmer Ioan Humphreys, who's perhaps better known to those of you on Instagram as that Welsh farmer. Ioan took on the running of his 500-acre family sheep and beef farm, aged just 20, when his father became ill, and 6 years later, he added a free-range egg unit to the business. He's got 850 ewes, 20 cattle, and 32,000 laying hens. His mother also runs a small holiday business of 3 log cabins on the farm. What else can I say? He's a bit of a genius on Instagram. He has his own unique way of engaging with people. Let's say that. Ioan, it is so good to have you on. Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for that intro. But yeah, no, it's good to be. It's actually an honor to be on this podcast. Yeah, I never thought I'd be here.
It's so good to have you on. I should say to listeners, so Ioan and I first met face to face at one of Anna Jones's Just Farmers workshops, which was fantastic.
Unbelievable.
Oh, it was such a great day. And I just want to say, when they do happen again, please do sign up for one of those, because it's just a fantastic day. Let's dive in and talk about Wales, first of all, because you're practically right at the centre, aren't you?
Yeah, literally, I'm right in the middle of Wales.
Right now.
Yeah, bang right in the middle. I don't want to upset a lot of people. It's very wet.
It had to be said. It was gonna be said.
Yeah. Where I live in like a bowl, so the clouds just come and just burst on top of me. So I spend 99% of my time in a raincoat.
And the farm, tell us about that, because it's been in the family for a long time.
Yeah. So the farm is, well, my family moved to the village in 1903 and were the millers. Because Carno, where I live, was a big estate. And then when the estate split up, it would be my great-grandfather. He started buying the parcels of land off the estate, and we grew from there. So my great-grandfather was a miller. Then my grandfather shut the mill and began farming. And then my dad expanded the farm even more. And then it came to me. And then as we bought parcels of land, we got access to, there's an open hill. It's about 2,500 acres of open hill. There's currently about 5 of us grazing that.
Let's talk about some animals. So you've got 850 ewes on the farm. There's Welsh Mountain, Welsh Speckled Face, Texel Suffolk, and Welsh mules. What's your favourite breed?
My favourite to work with is the mules, because they're so docile and they're just, you can work with them easily. Yeah. The Welsh are wild, can't keep them anywhere, but they're low input, but they give a good output. They work well on the land I've got. The land I own isn't really set up for the Welsh mules, the Texels and Suffolks. I've got a few, I've got a bit of lowland. Well, it's not even lowland.
Yeah,
it's lowland for where I am, but they're not really set up. It's not really the land for them sheep.
Yep.
So I've got more Welsh and Speckles. They're the hardier. They're my favourite sheep, really.
And your cows, because I know you love your cows.
I do very much love my cows. I've only got 20, so the cows are more of a hobby. And I just got them because I just love them. I buy them at like 3 weeks old, and then I get them in their pen and I feed them. Bucket feed them and
give them a stroke.
Yeah, I've got Bluey, I've got Angie, I've got Licky, Joseph. I had Scratchy, but she got too old. Yeah, I just name it because I've got so little. I kind of bond with them all.
Yeah,
I got Simmy. This is Cemental. Yeah, I've got all breeds. I just love them. I just love my cows.
What do you find the most challenging thing about the farm? And we'll talk about how you actually came back to the farm and got involved in the farming side of things a bit later. But right here, right now, what would you say is the most challenging thing?
Well, the current farming climate is the hardest thing, isn't it?
Could say that.
trying to. I think everyone's in the same boat, aren't they? The weather seems to be unfortunately, against us. Not so much for me. I got a lot of rain, but everyone else, we don't seem to be getting any support from the general public. But I don't know. I don't think we're helping ourselves either as farmers. I don't think we're pushing enough positivity out. I think we are, as farmers, we're not that good at promoting ourselves. Or is it Hubig Key Cymru? I don't think I've ever seen them do an advert on TV to promote Welsh lamb and Welsh beef. I don't think we're very good at promoting ourselves as farmers. And that's what we need to work on. And that's what I'm trying to do slowly but surely. I'm getting there. But I think that's the most challenging thing. Well, that's what I'm finding the hardest is trying to make money.
Yeah. That's a tough one.
Yeah. And the poultry shed, it's not, it's
been a tough year.
Yeah. Poultry this year has been very, very difficult, but it's been difficult for everyone. So I can't complain. Really. Do you know what I mean?
You can complain. It's fine.
I know, but you don't like to, that's another big thing. The media always show farmers complaining. We are very good at complaining. And the media, if there's something getting pushed, they will push that. If there's a farmer being good, they'll push that as well, But the public jump on a farmer being negative more than the public jump on a positive. It's not their fault. It's just they like drama.
Yeah.
It's just the way it works.
I think, a great example actually of sort of farmers remaining calm in a crazy situation was it? It must have only been like a week ago or a couple of weeks ago. Berkshire Farm Girl with that just bizarre incident with the combine and the sandwich. That's just mad, isn't it?
What was going on? I don't understand, why can't everyone just get along? Why do people have to be so awkward and just everyone's trying to make a living? Everyone's trying their best. And it's just, it blows my mind. What I find a lot is people struggle to be pleased for other people doing well. I don't want to sound like negative or anything, because I want to see people, I'll do anything to help anyone succeed at what they're doing. But I find a lot of people are like, oh, look at him, look at them. They got a bloody new tractor. Yeah, because they're trying to do something. Be happy.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Why can't everyone just be happy for each other and support each other? We need to gel together and help each other out in everything. I think anyway.
No, I think it's a super point. For me, that's the best way of seeing the world. Let's putting a positive spin on things. What's the thing you like most about what you do in the farm, apart from your cows?
I love it. People ask me, why do you love farming? I just love it. Farming is the worst job in the world and the best job in the world, all at the same time. There's so much pressure, I've got to make money, I've got to look after my animals, got to do this. But then you're doing that and you're like, this is so great. You're like outdoors, you're feeding your sheep, you're feeding your cows, they're in good condition, you're getting nice calves, you're getting nice lambs, you're going into your chicken shed, your chickens are all looking happy, they're running around outside, they're doing what they want. It's just such a satisfying job. I don't know, it's hard to explain for someone who isn't a farmer, the amount of pleasure you get from seeing your animals thriving and reaping the rewards. I suppose it's the best. I would have no idea of arable. When you see your crops growing, it just must feel so great. I just love, you love being outdoors. I'm not stuck in an office. I've got dogs, run around with the dogs. Yeah. If I want an hour, take an hour, just go and run around with the dogs.
Yeah. Well, you said it's hard to explain. I think you've done a pretty good job there. Show for it. I was going to talk about social media later on, and we might still, but I want to turn to that now, actually, based on that sort of idea of engaging with people and telling your story and reaching out. Tell me a bit about your social media story of how you started, why you started. Because you've got an increasingly growing following on Instagram. I mean, I follow a lot of farmers, and Instagram is probably my favorite platform at the moment. But you're honestly you're high up there. I always watch your stories because they're just great.
Oh, thank you very much. I started in 2020. We would have been 2020.
Wow,
Uh,
really recently.
yeah. And I started TikTok
Okay.
because I was bored. And the first video I posted on TikTok got something like 50,000 views and just went,
Wow.
and I was like, oh, I quite like this. And it was just before lambing started. So, when you're in the lambing shed, you get a bit delusional and you're like, oh, you're up late
Yep.
and you're on your own in the sheep shed, aren't you? So, and then I was doing TikTok lives and then people were asking me questions and I was going up to the poultry shed and I was doing these TikTok lives. And I really enjoyed it, really, really enjoyed it. And I think I've got about 30,000 followers on TikTok now. But I got to a point on that and I was lying in bed at night and I was thinking, what am I going to post on TikTok tomorrow?
Yeah. Okay.
I've got to post something on TikTok tomorrow, or they're going to kick me out the algorithm. I'm not going to get any likes. I'm not going to get any followers. And then I was like, wait a minute, why?
Why am I doing it? Yeah. Why am I
What is
doing this?
what? I don't care.
Mm.
So I just went, you know what? I started TikTok because I was bored in the sheep shed, delusional from lambing up late, and I was enjoying it. And as soon as I was like, what am I doing this for? I stopped completely.
Okay.
And it was around summertime, and I had like 100, 200 followers on Instagram. And I was like, I'll just go onto Instagram and post some photos and I can do the story, 24 hours, it's gone. And I started that and I just love it.
Yeah.
I'm the most obnoxious, obnoxious just because it's real life.
Yeah.
I'm like walking around the farm. I'm like, hey, and my dad is like in the tractor or something, looking at me like, oh, what are you doing? Or like I'm hiding around the corner doing something, and someone comes, I'm like, I'm pretending to shovel, and it's more realistic.
The Mackie D's reviews as well.
Yeah, I literally just show what I'm doing. I just show realistic. If it's good, I show it. If it's bad, if I do something wrong, if I mess something up, I think. What day is it today? Yeah, Tuesday. I had a load of straw, pushed them all off the lorry. The Arctic. I just posted a picture on that on Instagram, and everyone was like, "Way unlucky," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's what happens on farming."
Yeah,
it's a bit. I'm enjoying Instagram because I get to show real life. I show real life farming.
but honestly, there's the first plug, listeners. Yeah, if you are on Instagram, do go and follow him at that _Welsh_farmer. Anyway, what should we talk about next? Let's talk about chickens. When and why did the chickens begin?
I decided to put the chicken shed up when we, as a country, decided to leave Europe.
Yeah, that's that small thing.
Yeah, I won't talk about it because it rattles me.
Yep.
But I decided to. I was on the farm. I had more cows then, but I had the same sheep, and it was just ticking over. You pay the bills, and you get a single farm payment. You buy something nice, and then you carry on ticking over. But that wasn't good. It's not sustainable. It's not sustainable that way. You're not making money. It's just ticking over, just going around like this, and it's not good. So I decided to put the chicken shed up to get a bit of stability on the farm. I wanted, right, we've got this chicken shed. You get your weekly income. You know how much you're putting out. You know how much is coming in. Your farm is safe. It's secure. It's all support me and my family, and that's why I decided to do it. I needed that stability in the farm. The market of the sheep market is up and down. The cattle market is up and down.
Yep.
But you get your eggs. You've got this contract. This is what you're getting paid. This is what you're getting weekly. This is what you're paying out weekly. You know what's going on. You can build a future on that because you know what's coming in and what's going out. Little did I know that it was all going to go doolally.
It's yeah. I mean, can you tell us a bit more about this year and so what it's been like for you?
Horrendous. Yeah, so I'm on a contract. I'm supplying Fairburns with my eggs, and I'm with Lloyd's Animal Feeds. I buy the hens off them. I buy the food off them. My eggs have not increased in price, but my feed has increased by £150 a ton.
Blimey.
And I'm going through 30 ton a week.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'll admit the first year I did it, my profit margins were like this much, like
Okay.
a little bit. I know it's a podcast that people can't see, so my profit margins were a little bit, but now they've gone to real tiny, like millimeter. Let's say they were a centimeter, now they're a millimeter. They've squished down. Yeah, so I can pay the bank, I can pay my staff, and the bills that I've got, but
it's hanging on.
Yeah, it's but I think it's not good. There's going to be a shortage of eggs because I think people are going to stop restocking their sheds, but I've got to, because I've got to pay the bank back.
Yeah, I mean,
so it's not so great. The price of birds has gone up 70 pence a bird.
Yeah,
which that's a lot of money.
Yeah. So how does it work with the chickens in terms of, because you're in there at the weekends, aren't you?
Yeah. So my sister and her partner are there Monday to Friday, because I'm doing the sheep and the cattle, but I do go up as well during the week, and then I am there every Saturday and Sunday as well. But I've got two my cousins work on the weekends because I'm usually severely hungover. So it's handy to have an extra pair of hands in there. But yeah, I do all the paperwork and the medicating of the birds and all that. My sister and her partner, they do the day-to-day, running of collecting the eggs and checking on the hens and all that. But I just do all the fiddly, books bit.
And I mean, 32,000 hens it's quite a lot of chickens. And actually, I mean, before I got to know you, I didn't actually know, just by looking at your Instagram, it didn't quite. I don't know. I just didn't think it was that many. Why did you go for that number?
One of my mates, my next, is about 5 miles away, and he's got 32,000, so I have to get 32,000 as well. It's a classic farmer thing, isn't it? It's what farmers do.
Classic farmer.
He's in my farming group. We've got there's a little group of us, about 8 of us, all around the same age. He had 32. If I went and built 16,000, I'd never be able to live it down. So that is, and Lloyd's said put 32 up because 16s are going out of. There's no point putting 16s up anymore. Right. They'd rather egg packing companies rather a 32 than a 16, because I can fill one arctic a week then on a 32 instead of on a 16. It's half an arctic a week, so they're sending an arctic to pick up not many eggs.
Yeah. And what do you do with the muck?
I'm selling most of it now to local farmers. It's very, very cheap compared to what the fertilizer. It's so I've had it tested, and my manure is the same as 16. I can't produce enough of it to fulfill the demand. I make sure my farm is fine first, but then it goes to everyone. If you want it, I'll deliver it, no problem at all. Yeah, so I'm
money in muck.
Yeah, it's worth more than the eggs.
I wasn't going to say that, but yes. Let's talk about your mum's log cabins. When did that start?
So they have been running for 13 years.
Wow.
Yeah, so they were very early on in the holiday market. Yeah, and I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think they're the only traditional log cabin in the country. Wow,
that's a big thing.
Yes, so they came from Estonia. A lot of people don't know this. A log cabin has flat-sided logs. A log barn has round logs. So
there you are.
if your log house has round logs, no, it should be a barn. If it's got flat sides, it's that's a house. But yeah, so my dad had to go over to Estonia to see it. So they
Okay.
build it. They build them in a big factory,
Yeah.
build it up. You decide where you want the rooms. Then they put tabs on every single log, put it back, pull it back down, put it in 4 lorries, bring it over, send some Estonians over with it,
It
and
literally gets driven over from Estonia.
yep, in Arctic lorries. Yeah,
Wow.
it's a mile worth of wood per cabin.
That's a
Yeah,
great stat.
and it takes them 5 days, bottom log to top log. It'll take them 5 days, and they, each log will only go in its certain space. They cut all the joints there with hand saws, chainsaws. Then there's about 5 Estonians in. They sand it all down from the inside, and then they put the roof on, and that holds it down. So we put a concrete base down.
Yep.
It's not fixed to the base. It's just sitting on the base. It weighs 100 ton.
Wow.
Because if earthquakes or anything, it just moves and logs.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Regular earthquakes in Wales.
yeah. It's more if I crash into it with the tractor, shimmy a bit. Yeah, so it's not really a log cabin; it's a log house.
Okay.
Yeah.
And as she's going to be going that long, I assume has she got like people who sort of come back regularly, or
Yeah. So our biggest customers is the repeat customers. They are. I think there's one couple that come 4 times a year. I think one of them. Yeah, they've got hot tubs. They'll sleep 6 hot tubs, showers, bathrooms, everything. Yeah, and last year, there was a dating show, ITV2, The Cabins.
okay,
They were the set was in our log house.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So
featuring your good self at all at any point?
I was the test dummy, so I had to go in before all the contestants to make sure the cameras were working properly, because there was 27 cameras per house to make sure you could be seen in all areas of the house.
Yeah.
So I was just walking around, they're on the speakers. Can you pretend to cook, please? So I was, pretend to flip pancakes, just to make sure the TV.
Is there? Please say there's actually some footage of that.
There would be somewhere, but I can't find it because they played a prank on me. They were like, "Oh, can you go into the bathroom, please? And can you pretend to brush your teeth?" So I was standing in the mirror, and the camera was on me, and I was going, "Ha!" pretending to, as you can imagine, pretending to brush my teeth. So yeah, that's floating around somewhere. I don't know, but
genius.
Yeah.
Let's go back a bit. So what kind of teenager were you? Because as far as I know, you didn't really want to farm at that point in your life.
A delinquent. No, I was. I was worse than I am now. As a teenager, I hated the farm. Didn't want anything to do with it. But my dad wanted me to be on the farm, and that's where I was like, nope. I wanted to play football. I wanted to go and play on the PlayStation. I wanted to chase after women that didn't like me. I just wanted to do everything. And then I'd get home from school, and my dad would like, right, you need to go and spread some fertilizer on this field, this field, this field. And then I'd just be doing it angry.
Yeah.
So it really put me off. So I did my GCSEs, and then I went to sixth form for some bizarre reason. I did media studies.
The only reason I know that is because the pub yields.
Yeah, I told them, media studies, PE, and geography through the medium of Welsh. So I'm really good at my Welsh geography, but I have no idea about any English geography. And then, that's when my dad got ill, and I had to start farming. Really, when I was in my final sixth form was 2 years. Yeah, when I was in my second year of sixth form.
Yeah, can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so when I was, how old would I have been? 18, 19. Yeah, Dad got diagnosed with prostate cancer, and he had to have an operation. to have his prostate taken out, and then radiotherapy to just blast it all away. And that really, it hit him quite hard. He went quite, physically weak, mentally. That wasn't very good. So I took a lot of time off to, it happened. I'm sure it was about January time. So we lamb the end of February, early March, the mules indoors in the shed. So he couldn't catch a sheep, he couldn't turn him over. So then I had to do that. I was young and fit enough to do it. I just didn't know what I was doing because I'd never taken any interest into it.
Yeah.
So I ran the farm then for a year with his guidance, isn't it? Because I didn't know what I was doing. You lamb the sheep, and you put them out in the field, and then these ewes and lambs need drenching now, and it wasn't very. I missed all the timings of the first year. It's difficult when you're first. I know I'm a fourth generation farmer, but I took over as if I was a first generation because I hadn't taken any interest in it. So I didn't know what I was doing. So it was a bit thrown in the deep end, really, because we cut down on the sheep. I think he wasn't far off 1,300 ewes then and about 100 cattle.
Wow.
And I was just like, what the heck? What am I going to do with them? So we cut right down. We cut right down. So I was running about 250 ewes then.
Okay.
Cut the cattle down to about 50, and I slowly cut it down because they weren't making profit. They weren't profitable enough for me. So I just kept 20 as nice pets. So I did that for a year, and then he said, right, I've had my operation. I'm going through my radiotherapy. I don't want to be slaving over this farm, and I want to enjoy life. Because when would that have been? It was 10 years ago. So he was only 50. He was 52. So he went into the hospital, and he was the youngest there by like 20, 25 years.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm going to enjoy myself. So we can either rent the farm out or sell it, or you can take it over. And I was like, well, didn't want to disappoint anyone or anything. I said, I'll try my best to run the farm.
Wow.
And that's what I did.
Wow.
Yeah.
What would you have done instead?
I was thinking about being a teacher.
Okay.
I would, a primary school teacher, because I knew what I was like as a teenager, and I didn't want it to be with me. So I would have, the older primary school, just before high school.
Yeah.
That's what I would be doing now if I wasn't a farmer.
I think you would have made a great teacher. Just saying.
Well, I don't know. My patience. I don't know. Is it farming has made my patience thin? But I don't know. I may have had more patience a few years ago, but I ain't got any much anymore.
Yeah. How's your dad doing now, anyway?
He's good. He actually, last month he cycled to the top of Cadair Idris twice.
Oh, amazing! Wow.
So he's doing very well, but he's just enjoying himself. Yeah,
that's brilliant. Let's talk a bit about mental health, because that particular time must have been incredibly hard. But I know this is something that you talk about openly anyway, and I know it's something you want to talk about now as well. But you have had some quite challenging times. So how have you sort of faced those times?
Yeah, it was terrible, to be honest. It was horrible. But I don't think I realized it was as bad as it was at the time. You look back and you think, well, it was bad. I'm currently not having a very nice time at the minute. I'm struggling. These last few months I haven't had a very nice time.
I'm sorry to hear that, mate.
Yeah, so it's all right. It goes up and down, up and down.
Yeah. I know exactly what it's like.
Yeah, but I think we need to it needs to be spoken about. I speak to who I can. Well, no, I suppose I don't speak as much as I need to, but I've got a weird brain. I managed to cope with it. I eat junk food. I really like super noodles. People can tell when I'm not doing so well because I just don't eat anything but super noodles and Cadbury's fruit and nut. But I think we need to.
Great chocolate bar.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Yeah, it's probably the best chocolate one. I think we need to speak about it more. There's a big stigma about it, but it's getting better. It is getting better, but I don't know. I really don't know how I coped with it back then. I play football on the weekends. That's a great release for me. I play football and see my friends. And now, currently, if I go on the PlayStation, I've got a PlayStation in the house, and I'll spend an hour, and everything disappears from around me, and I'm on that game for an hour, and that's it. I don't think about anything else. It's as if I'm there.
That's how you escape.
Yeah, it's a complete escape, and it works really well. I come off that. I'm currently playing Red Dead Redemption, so I feel like a cowboy. So I'm riding around on a horse thinking I'm a cowboy for an hour, and I come back and I'm like, I have to go and lasso some cows, I think, or something. It's a real, and then obviously my wife and child are great, coming back in the house and seeing, he's 9 months old now, his smile and his laugh and whatever. It's just that's such a great help.
Yeah. Because it's the thing about farming as well, isn't it? It's so all consuming. So you mentioned those two things between the gaming and the football, but are you able to switch off at all?
Yeah, I think I do. I'm really. I can turn it. Like, I could sit here now and just stare at a blank screen now, and you could talk at me. I could turn everything off. I don't know how I can. But when I play football, I'm really competitive. So when I'm playing football, that's all I think about. If anything else comes into my mind, it doesn't. I don't think it ever has. If I'm doing something, and I think that's why I enjoy farming, because if I'm doing farming, that's what I'm thinking about. If I'm playing football, that's what I'm thinking about. It's more if I go on holiday, that's when, I went away for a couple of days and then your phone rings, your neighbor, there's something. That's when I can't switch off, when I go away on holiday, because I know, I could be at the farm doing this. Okay. That's what I find difficult, is going away on holiday. I can't switch off then. Football, you go on a Saturday afternoon, you come back. But going away it makes me real nervous thinking about going away for like a week on holiday.
How do you think you might? Sorry, this been turning into a therapy session. But how do you think you might be able to improve that or get better at doing that?
Just go on holiday. Just go. Go on small breaks. I can, weekend breaks. Go weekend break and then work it up. But I think I don't think the current farming climate is helping is helping mental health in the industry. People
it's so uncertain.
Nobody knows what's going on, so you're worried. If I'm not at the farm, what if something? I'm not making money. But you've got to get away. Got to get away from the farm. I play football once a week, so I get away from the farm once a week. I try and make sure I get away from the village, away from the local town once a month, and try and go on holiday once a year.
Yeah. You're also possibly Wales's biggest. This is the national team here, biggest football fan. Tell us about some of the away games you've been on.
Well, I have just booked flights to Belgium. I'm going to Belgium next month to watch them. I think that's a Thursday night game. So we're flying out Wednesday morning to Brussels and then watch the game Thursday and fly home Friday. So I am doing that. Slovakia has been my favorite away trip. I've been to, Ireland a few times, but Slovakia.
So Slovakia because
it's just so wild.
I know literally nothing about Slovakia, so
I think it was when we were there 40 cents a pint. Yeah, there you.
Okay, I can see whether this is your
40
favorite
cents a pint. Wow. Yeah, we were the first Welsh fans there, and obviously we got there 2 days before the game. I don't know why. And I was telling this story the other day. Actually, we were, other Welsh fans came and whatever, and we went out the first night, and none of us remember much of it. And then we went for breakfast the next morning, and we were sitting there all in our Wales shirts, and there was a couple sitting next to us, both in Wales shirts. They were about 55, 60.
Okay.
And we were saying, "Oh, yeah, out for the Wales game, have a nice time." And she just went, "As long as you boys keep your shirts on for breakfast, I'll be fine." And we were looking at each other, and we were thinking, "Oh, I'm very sorry." I'm sorry, what? And she was like, "Well, you were with me in the pub last night. You all had your shirts off singing the national anthem." And we were like, oh, we're very sorry.
Oh, it's genius.
It's great. Yeah, it's such a good crack. Wales away.
Yeah. So what's next for you? Obviously, there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of challenges. Even just getting through where we are now is probably enough for a lot of people. But in an ideal world, let's say, if Johan Humphreys could say, "Yeah, I want to be here in 10 years' time," and that could be farming, it could be out of farming as well. What would you like to achieve? What do you want to do?
So, got the farm, got the poultry unit. My next project, which will be happening, is a farm shop.
Oh, that's exciting. That's very exciting.
Yeah. So I want to do a farm shop and cafe, but I'm going to use as much local produce as I can. So all the meat sold in the cafe, I'll have a map on the wall, and then I'll put a circle on the map and say, right, all the lamb is sourced within this circle. All the pork, all the beef is sourced within this circle. All the honey is from this area. So I live on the A470, so it's such a busy road. Mm-hmm. People can call in, they can get local produce, make some breakfast hampers for the holiday houses, steak night hamper, and then about 500 yards from my house is the local primary school. The cafe, the mothers or fathers can drop their kids off at the school. Yep. They can come to the cafe for a coffee and a chat. Then they can, if they're only doing half days, they can go and do there. And then once that is up and running, I have on the farm is the well that used to feed the village. So I'm going to start a brewery.
Oh, fantastic. I was waiting for you to say that. I was hoping. I will definitely be. Well, I know several people who will be customers.
Yeah. So I've got a lot of spring water, and farm shop, brewery within the next 10 years.
Amazing.
Definitely.
I literally cannot wait. What about this is a big question here, but what about agriculture generally? And again, there is a lot going on and a lot of challenges, but from your point of view, where you're standing in mid Wales, what do you think is the biggest challenge that we face at the moment, and that we should really be trying to do something about?
Me personally, I think that a lot of farms around me are going to get sold and taken over by big companies, and they'll either get rented out or they're going to get planted. I think there's a big problem with tree planting. Some people might disagree. Some people might think it's a good idea, but I think it's a good idea on the right land, but not someone offered to plant trees on some of my prime fields, and I'm like, no, go plant the trees on the part of the farm I don't use. Go and do it on the steep banks. That's fine, but no, they don't want that. They want I think that's going to be the days of a small family farm are over. I don't think it's sustainable. You know, back when my dad first took over, a dairy herd was, 40 cows.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there was, 7 of them.
Yeah.
Not a chance. Wouldn't happen
All in
in
the
a
milk
milk.
round.
Yeah, I I think farming's it's gonna get industrialized. Really, I think these big companies are going to come in, and if they want that to stay farming, they're going to get a tenant in, and right, can you farm that for us? It might go back to the lord and the lady of the manor buying all the farms and having little tenant farms. Because it's just so expensive. It's so expensive to farm, and it's so expensive to buy land. It's so expensive to buy anything. It's almost impossible for a new entrant. Impossible. I wouldn't be farming if I didn't live on the farm. Wouldn't even know how to get started. It's so difficult, but we need to push it more. We need to get more people into the agricultural industry. We need the younger generations coming in. We need people that have got a actual interest in farming to be farmers, not people who are farming for the sake of it. It's a scary, scary time. Honestly, I have no idea what's going to happen. I don't think anyone does. I don't think anyone has any idea what's happening. But I think we're such an underappreciated, and I know it's farmers being negative again, but I do think we are underappreciated, and it is going to show. I think we are going to have, I know for a fact in the wintertime, we're going to have an egg shortage. And then everyone's going to go, what are the farmers doing? Where are all the eggs?
Okay.
You didn't want the eggs. You're not paying for the eggs. I think I think we're coming to the bottom of the dip. And next year, it's going to have to start climbing again. I think people are going to start realizing, I think when the supermarkets are struggling to fill shelves with fruit and veg, meat and eggs, I think then the general public will be like, oh, actually, we do need farmers. We need farmers to supply us with food. We can't just import everything. It's impossible to say what's going to happen, but I do feel as if it's going to get better because it's got to get better.
So with that in mind, we are going to start to wrap things up now. I've loved this chat, but we always finish the show with the same 2 questions. The first is, what is your message for the public?
Support local farmers. I support your local farmer. If you live in Birmingham, don't go to Aldi's and buy my eggs off the shelf. Go to your local shop or go to the market and buy their egg. Buy home produce, because the supermarkets are putting so much money. They're making so much money on my eggs. My eggs are currently in Aldi and Asda. If I'd rather you come to me and buy them than give the supermarkets that money. My message to the public is support your local farmers. Don't go out buying from all the major supermarkets because they don't care about you. They don't care one bit. They don't care about you, and they don't care about us that are farming. If you go to the farmer, a farmer would appreciate you coming and buying things local. I know I would. If you came up to me and said, oh, can I buy some of your eggs? I'm like, yep, of course you can. How many would you like? So, yeah.
And your message for farmers?
Message for the farmers: be kind. Be kind to each other. Help each other. Help your neighbour. Help each other out. There's enough negativity in the world already. Help if your neighbour breaks down, give him a hand. If you've fallen out with your neighbour over a fence, just go and shake his hand. We all need, as an agricultural community, we need to be together, work together, help each other. I just want everyone to be friends. I just want a massive friend hug of all farmers. I just want
big farmer hug.
Big farm hug. Yeah. I just think what is the point in arguing and being jealous, and no one cares. No one genuinely, no one really cares. It's just everyone's trying to make a living. And if you trying to make a living in different ways, that doesn't matter. Just help each other out. Be kind.
That's brilliant. That's a super message. Thanks, Jan.
No
And then
problem.
another thing, which is literally the first time I've done this at the end, but this is going to be a new thing. I'm going to ask everyone as well. Can you give? This could be a farming related podcast, a blog, or a social media account that you want to give a plug to.
Meet the Farmers podcast.
Well, apart from that one.
Yeah, get that one right in there. I'm going to have to say the Pub Yields. That was my first
Yeah,
podcast
absolutely.
I ever did. Yeah. So I would actually like to plug the Just Farmers. Such a great thing they've got going there. I took part in it. If you Google the Just Farmers, if you have the opportunity to apply for that, do that straight away. That is my plug. I think it's so great. I've met so many great people. I met you obviously, and it's been an absolute pleasure to speak. I've loved every minute of it, and I loved every minute of Just Farmers. So yeah, that please.
Oh, thanks, Sharon. And that's and Anna and the team will enjoy that a lot, I'm sure. It's definitely.
I hope so.
Yeah. They're some of my favorite people. So
they're unbelievable. So great and so helpful, and just lovely, genuine people that want to help get farmers and the media together. Yeah. It's just such a great project, and I can't wait to see it grow.
Oh, well, Johan, thank you for coming on the show. Honestly, thank you for sharing the love. You've been such a gent as well, and honestly, and thank you for being so open. And your story is just amazing, honestly. I love your farming story, and I absolutely love what you do on Instagram every single day. It makes me and many others laugh a lot. So from all of us, thank you very much as well.
Thank you. If I can make one person smile, that's all I want.
Oh,
I think I'm going to have the Love Train as a theme tune.
Yes. Sure. Brilliant. That is it for today's show. Thank you very much for listening. Please subscribe on whatever podcast platform you're using and share it on your socials. Just a plug for our sister podcast, Rural Business Focus. This week, we're talking about rural broadband and connection. It's actually on this particular call, it's held up quite well. But from personal experience on many calls, it doesn't often work so well. So we're speaking about that this week. And you can find that podcast and subscribe to it wherever you're listening to this one. Next week on Meet the Farmers, we'll be in Yorkshire, and I'll be speaking to farmer and co-host of the Boots and Heels podcast, Becca Wilson. So I hope you can join me then. I'm Ben Eagle. This has been Meet the Farmers, and I hope you all have a great week.